Hey, it's Nick the Lightroom dude, and I'm in here in Lightroom 4, still working out some of their bugs, but for a majority of the part, I'm actually using it, and I'm still using Lightroom 3. So if you have 4, still keep 3 going. You can still work on your catalogs in 3. But today I'm going to talk about cropping and sending images up to your lab, and the most efficient way to do that. That's not only going to save you time, it is going to make the labs happy, and you are going to be able to get your products back faster if we all started following this simple rule. And this is the way it works. So I'm in Lightroom 4 right now, and I'm going to choose this image here. Well, out of camera, I've got a 2:3 ratio. Okay, so that's great. I can get a 4:6 out of it. But then if I come here to my crop and drop down my ratio, and I do a 4, 5, 8, 10. Okay, I got a 4, 5, 8, 10 there. I can adjust that a little bit. I could drop down again. I could say I need a 5, 7. We're noticing that the ratio is changing, and sometimes dramatically. And there's our 2, 3, 4, 6, which is out of camera. So here's the deal. Okay, instead of me going in and creating an actual 4x5 for my 810s, for my 8x10s, and a 5x7 and a 4x6 and 11 by 14, 16 by 20, 20 by 30, many different sizes. Okay, beyond the really cool cinematic stuff, this trick will work. So what I'm doing is I'm going to enter custom ratio, and I'm going to enter 11 by 14. Now I already have this one in here, so we're just going to cancel out of this, and I'm going to go back to my drop down and choose my 11:14 ratio. Now here's what's cool about this. I'll do an 11 by 14 ratio. I'll adjust my image the way that I want it, but I'm going to make sure that I'm going to actually leave a little bit of cropping room. So I won't come in and crop so tight like that, because in order for this trick to work, you got to follow a little rule, and the rule is this: you have to leave a little bit more room open. Okay, and what that's going to allow us to do is, when we give ourselves a little bit more room around our subject and what we want them to focus on, we've got a pretty good crop here, but it will actually allow us to take one image at this 11 by 14 ratio. Now remember, we're not doing it by size in Lightroom, we're actually cropping by ratio. Okay, so what that allows us to do now is take this actual one image, export this as a single JPEG, and now we can order a 4:6, a 3:5, 8 by 10, 11 by 14, 16:20s, and you would imagine how many other sizes, and we don't lose much either off the top or the bottom or the sides. So you should really try this with your lab. It works if your lab is actually using RAWs. My lab is Pounds Labs, which I love to death, and they have pros. And if you haven't tried them, you need to definitely try them today, because the customer service is extremely excellent over there, and those guys are really cool. They're like family. So give it a try. Go into Lightroom, crop all your images 11 by 14. Because just think about this. Another good thing about the 11 by 14 cropping ratio is that if you do a wedding and everybody just goes in and says, well, we're going to leave them at 2:3 ratio, which is your 4x6s, and then the client comes back and says, guess what, I want an 8 by 10 out of it. Well, now you've got to go back and redo all this work again. Instead, do it one time, do it right, crop everything by 11 by 14 ratio. The client comes in and wants a 4x6, then order your 4x6 off that same image. If they want 8 by 10, order the 8 by 10. They want 11 by 14, so on and so forth. So really cool trick. 11 by 14 ratio is kind of that magic number. Try it out, and see you guys next time.